So shout out to my Patreon family, everybody out there supporting Brother Rich. Part of the reason for this page is to get support in terms of independent media and moves I want to make and things I've seen happening within mainstream media, things that's still happening right now behind the scenes that I don't talk too much about. So I definitely want to say thank you to everybody supporting Brother Rich and contributing to the Patreon page. It's moving a little slower than what I originally expected. And that's part of what I want to talk about today is, let me tighten this right here. This here is a little loose. Let me see if this one is, okay, that's tight. Yeah, about being an entrepreneur and things you face being an entrepreneur, challenges and the joys and things of that nature. But I want to thank everybody that just, made it their duty to support what I do and what I bring to the table. What I bring to the table in this, this information age. I've been into this. I would say I really started trying to find myself when I was 20 years old. I would say about 19, probably 19. No, I would say before 20, about 19. I'm trying to think, y'all. Give me a second. Yeah, I would say about 19. Started to really trying to find myself and figure out who I was. And, for if I could just, help anybody out there, because that's the greatest journey in life, the greatest mission, the greatest job, the greatest thing you could do is to figure out who you are, like hands down, who you are. When you figure out who you are, it brings you everything in life. So intellectually, we think we want to get this, we want to get the good job, then we want to get the good girl, then we want to get the money, the bag as they call it, and that's going to bring us to happiness. But we know people with the bag that's miserable. We know people with the girl that's miserable. We know people with the millions that's miserable. And we know people that eat vegan that's sick. So it's like, it's confusing out there. But regardless of whatever, when you know who you are, when you truly know who you are, you're not going to be unhappy. You're not going to be unhappy. You won't have to. You might not have the money immediately. You might not have the girl or the guy immediately. But knowing who you are is your sole purpose down here. So to everybody that's on that journey, man, I just salute you. And I know it's a long journey. Sometimes it may seem difficult. Sometimes it may seem challenging. Sometimes it may seem extremely rewarding. And I just ask that, the one thing I can inspire people to do is to continue to be the greatest version of themselves. As I say constantly, I'm going to continue to say that. I want you to be the greatest version of yourself. You came down here. You're more than a human being. You have a greater self. You have the conscious self, the physical body, but it's more to you than that. And I just want people, even though they may not understand it immediately, I want people to understand that they're greater than just the physical vessel. And because of the eyes, because of the ears, because of the smell, because of the lips, and we could taste, all we pay attention to is the five senses that they tell us about when we were young. But there's extra senses. That's why they call it extrasensory projection or whatever they call it. But there's more senses that we could tap into that's available to us. And I think one of the main things that's preventing us from tapping into that is the distractions right now. And I think that our ancestors, regardless of what was going on in slavery or whatever, they didn't have the distractions that we have. And the distractions is a form of slavery. If we allow them to chain us up and shackle us and we give our attention to it, and once we give our attention to it, whatever you give your attention to, they pretty much have your spirit. That pretty much has your spirit, because your attention is your energy. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call it pay attention. Yo, you paying attention because you're paying. What are you paying with? Not with physical currency, but energetic currency. So there's a reason why you got to understand the language. Listen to the language. They won't say pay attention for no reason. Pay attention. Pay attention to the teacher. Pay attention to this one. Pay attention to that one. You're paying not with physical currency, but with energetic currency. So we have to be very careful about what we pay attention to. And I'm not saying that to say we just ignore things that we know is affecting us or that we know bothers us. I'm not saying that, because you can live in a, like Jay-Z said, I'm not black, I'm OJ. You know what I'm saying? And that's not trying to completely ignore his skin color and what he might have came down here for and what his people been through and what he may have gone through. He's just saying, I'm not black, I'm OJ. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, you can look at your skin color, you could look at what's going on outside of you, and you could use what Charlemagne called your black privilege. Like, regardless of what's going on outside, what we're faced with, we got a connection with the divine. We got that strong Wi-Fi signal. I'm not coming at nobody else, but we have a very strong Wi-Fi signal. And you know what it's like? Think about what it's like when you have a strong Wi-Fi signal with your computer and it's moving lightning fast. And think about when you have a weak Wi-Fi signal and it's moving slow. We have a very strong Wi-Fi signal. Very strong. But because of the distractions, because of everything else, the brainwashing, we're not using that Wi-Fi signal. But we have to use that Wi-Fi signal to understand who we are and what we came down here for, regardless of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what we call white supremacy, which is white inferiority, a group of people, some people that might feel inferior. Not the entire race, but there's some people. And that's my phone right there. So we have to get out of the idea that, whatever they don't say is not true. And that's what I'm here for, independent media. Because you're not going to, we need inspiration. And we're not getting it from mainstream media. We're getting crazy images of our people in mainstream media. If you're of a darker hue, if you have a lighter hue, welcome. I appreciate the support, but a lot of times when you have a darker hue, you don't get that type of support from mainstream media. And, everybody goes through different things in this society. Everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different narrative. The black man has a narrative. The black woman has a narrative about what she goes through, So, everybody has a different narrative. Women in general have a narrative about what they go through in society and what they're faced with. Historically and right now. So, a lot of people have different narratives about what they go through. And I just try to respect everybody's narrative and at the same time inspire them to know that, they could, in spite of that, they can achieve whatever because of their connection and because I understand the process of creation. And that leads me to, what I wanted to talk to you about being an entrepreneur. And for those of you out there, you may be an entrepreneur or you may still have a 9-to-5 looking to be an entrepreneur. And I advise everybody in this age, to have some type of side hustle or some type of side gig or whatever you want to call it. Even if you have a 9-to-5, I would advise you, because it's so convenient now because of the internet, I advise you to do something on the side that is directly related to your legacy. When I say legacy, I mean your last name. Dame Dash talked about that. Your last name is important. What do you pass down to your last name? So it could be something, the simplest thing in the world. I'm going to a wedding from a friend that I had since 6 years old. That's great. Some people, a lot of friendships don't last 5 years. Out here. So to say I'm 35, do the math. That's what, 29 years or something like that. So 29 years of friendship with somebody, 12 years of a relationship, of a companionship with a woman. I'm good at relationships, you know what I'm saying? I'm good at relationships. I'm good at picking people to surround myself around. And I contribute all that to my relationship with my higher self. And all that is another word for intuition. Your higher self is your intuitive spirit, that intuitive side inside of you. So I have some good relationships between my friends. Like I said, 30 years, 29 years. I'm going to a wedding. My girl, 12 years. Since I was 23, I'm 35 now. So, all that, everything, listen, man. Everything is connected to your intuition. Your intuition will lead you to success in every area of your life, whether it's exercise, whether it's health, whether it's relationships, whether it's, with your friends, whether it's relationship with your mate. But the important thing is that you go into the right direction, and intuition is never wrong about that. Intuition may tell you something today that you may disagree with it a year from now, but at that time when it told you what it needed to tell you, you needed to hear that. You needed to hear that at that time. Sometimes my intuition told me about certain things about Christianity that I disagree with right now, but at that time I needed to hear that to get where I'm at right now. And it's a paradox. So if you're intellectualizing it and you're being logical, you miss the whole point. But if you're spiritual and you understand that how the spirit moves, you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? The spirit, it's a paradox. It's contradictory sometimes, but you got to understand how the spirit world works. So it's not logical, and that's one of the things I want to talk about with being an entrepreneur. Is that a lot of times when because of our upbringing, because of our programming, we try to be logical. And to be an entrepreneur, most of the time, be a successful entrepreneur, you can't be logical 100%. You got to be logical somewhat, but you can't be logical 100% because you're going to doubt yourself, and your mind is going to come up with every excuse in the world about why you can't do something, because of your history, because of your inexperience, because of your lack of money. Your mind will tell you, well, you don't have this money, you need that amount of money to do that, or you need that amount of influence to do that, or you need to know so-and-so to do that. And it just has your best interests at heart. It's not like your ego is your enemy. It knows what it knows. A lot of people would tell you your ego and your mind is the enemy. Don't believe it. It knows what it knows. It's not meant to know extrasensory perception. It's not meant to know the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension. It's not meant to know that. Your higher self knows that. Your higher self has a more expansive view. It's like a bird watching from the sky, and it gets to see everything versus somebody that's on the ground trying to look at everything. It's such a limited view when I'm standing on 114th Street and 5th Avenue and I'm trying to look at everything versus if I'm in the sky with binoculars and I get to see everything. If I'm in the sky, I get to see somebody coming from 10 blocks away coming to you, and I could warn you, yo, so-and-so, you on 114th? So-and-so's coming from 98th Street, but if you're on 114th, you can only see down one block, 113th, or 115th, 113th or 115th. You can see other way. I'm standing on 114th. I can see down 113th or 115th. That's all I can see. That's your ego. It can only see with the senses. Your higher self has the bird eye view, the ego, the heru, and it sees all of that. It can see somebody coming a mile away, 2 miles, 5 miles away, 10 miles away. And that's why you have to listen to that part of yourself, because that part of yourself can see something that you could never imagine. It can see something that you don't understand. You don't understand standing on 114th Street, somebody's coming from 129th. If you can't see it, you can't understand it because you can't see it. You can't comprehend it. So, like I said, in terms of business and what I'm talking about, your higher self is very important because, you're not going to logically understand certain things. You're going to feel it inside, and that's your higher self. It's just this intuitive feeling, but you're not going to understand it intellectually. And sometimes you have to be a little insane. You have to be a little crazy about your crafts. Because if you're not, you're gonna set yourself up automatically all the time. You have to tell yourself things that nobody else believe. You can't look for verification from outside sources. Once you feeling inside or once you thinking, you just gotta run with it. You gotta know thyself. It's the most important thing in the world. They're not talking about just historical. They're talking about you as an individual. We're individual fingerprints of God. We each have out of billions of people, quadrillions, infinite amount of people that ever existed on the face of the earth, we all managed to have a unique fingerprint. There's a reason for that. Because we're all here for a unique reason. We're all here for a unique purpose that can never be duplicated ever. Right now, what I'm telling you right now, I could never say it the same way tomorrow. If I cut the camera off and I said, damn, I messed up. Or damn, I don't like the way my hat is. Damn, my shirt is wrinkled. Damn this or damn whatever. I could never say it the exact same way. I could try to duplicate it. It might be better, it might be worse, but it won't be the exact same way. So you can never do nothing the exact same way again and again and again. It's going to be always a little different. You know what I'm saying? Those who are artists, they probably know exactly what I'm talking about because they made drawings or tattoos, or they wrote songs, or they made beats or whatever. That's not the same. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of being an entrepreneur, and I advise everybody to do a little something, even if you're not making money from it, but just to have a hobby that you love and to continue to engage in that hobby that you love. Regardless of how busy you are. Even if like I said, even if you're not making money off of it, just continue to do whatever you love to do besides your job. Because, the whole purpose down here is to be happy. And we're such in a rat race, and like I live in New York, and like rent is sky high in New York. Everything, a sandwich, everything, vegan food, everything is sky high in New York. So you really have to be on top of your game if you want to live that healthy lifestyle and live good in New York. And your hustle game got to be up to par. But in terms of being an entrepreneur, your confidence in yourself is your security. When we get on the job, we have a 401k, we have certain things, certain plans, insurance plans or whatever that ensures us that we're going to be okay, and we're confident and we believe in that and we're happy, and that what makes us comfortable, and that what gives us security. But when you're an entrepreneur, you have to have confidence. Confidence is the main thing that guarantees your security. You'll get all that. You'll get the insurance and everything else. You'll get that. But the main key is confidence. And I think one of the main things that I feel like this is the matrix, and there's programs that's implanted in us, that's implanted to challenge us. Because I feel like this is just a video game, and we're like, we're playing a game and we got to beat the game. And we have this false sense of humility that prevents us from being who we truly are. You know what I'm saying? And we have to get rid of that. We have to be a little more confident in who we are. A little more, even if you're not that vocal. Some people are a little more vocal. Like you watch Floyd Mayweather, very vocal about his confidence in himself. But we definitely have to believe. As soon as we believe in ourselves, we think we're being arrogant. Or as soon as we compliment ourselves, we think we're being arrogant. If we say something out loud that's good about ourselves, we think we're being arrogant. And that's like a collective consciousness in this society. Like, don't compliment, don't say anything good about yourself. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta get rid of that program. It's time to get rid of that program. And believe in ourselves, and say good things about ourselves every day. When you wake up in the morning, say good things about yourselves. When you go to sleep, say good things about yourselves, because you'll bring that into, especially when you go to sleep. That's what I learned, because you'll bring that into the fourth dimension. You'll bring that into the subconscious realm, where your higher self can now work on it while you're sleeping, and you don't have to do nothing consciously. Your subconscious will work on that for you, so that makes things easier. And yeah, I basically just wanted to tell you that about being an entrepreneur, like the key, and regardless of the obstacles you get presented with, that you basically, you got. It's not about one. I especially want to tell you, it's not about, we often say what we want to be. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be this. I want to be a successful, like I do music, so I could say I want to be a successful musician, or I could say I want to be a successful interviewer, or I want to be this. And that's a certain frequency that when you really understand science and how the world works and nature works, you'll be stuck. You'll be very successful at, you know what? I'll give you a second. Tell me if you keep wanting something, if you keep wanting to be, I want to be successful at helping my people, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to give you a second to answer that. You're going to be successful at wanting, and you're going to master it. And you're always going to be wanting, and you're going to be the best person in the world at wanting to do something. Wanting is a frequency. What you have to understand, I read this book by Neville Goddard, and he said there's a difference between desiring and decreeing. It goes into the whole science of I am. So stop saying I want to do this. Oh man, I want to do that one day. I want to do this one day. I want to do this one day. You have to already know that whatever you want and you desire, there's a reason for it. And you already are that. Whatever you desire, you already are that which you desire. And it seems contradictory because, like I said, remember I said about your senses? Remember I said if you're on 1/14th, all you can see is 1/15th and 1/16. Your higher self can see bird eye view. So your higher self is telling you, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. You translate it, you get that download, you translate it as, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. But yeah, because that's a language. Our language is kind of a barrier. But the translation is, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. But we're translating it verbally as, I want to do this, I want to do that. So it's confusing. So we're thinking who we are, that I am this, I am that, is in the future tense. We thinking, oh, I want to do, oh, I am this, I am that, is I want to do that. So if the higher self tells me I am a amazing musician, I'm translating in the English language as I want to be an amazing musician. And that what holds us back. So in this amazing game we play with ourselves down here in the third dimension, we get these translations. We get these downloads. Let me say downloads. I'm sorry. We get these downloads from our higher self, the spirit, God, our ancestors. Remember, we're all connected in that realm. So you could say God. You could say your higher self. You could say ancestors. We're all connected. There's no separation. Third dimension is the illusion of separation. This is separate from me. That's why they say you can create your reality, because they know ultimately you're not disconnected from what you see. Man, I'm not saying I don't understand it completely, because I've had so many years of programming that I'm still trying to, regardless of what I read, I'm still trying to reprogram myself, because there's 20 years of programming within me from when I was young. So I'm still trying to reprogram myself. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it's possible, and you take it a day at a time. So with that being said, you know, consciously, you're just not going to get it consciously. That's why you have to have a relationship with your higher self. You have to just relax. The job of your conscious mind, your brain, is basically to experience what happens. It's not to create. Your higher self is doing all the creating. Your higher self is doing all the hard, dirty work. Your conscious mind, consciously, just relax, just chill. That's why they say, you know, laughter is good. That's why they say, you know, being in a good mood, laughter is good. You know, I said laughter. That's why they say a lot of things good. Being positive is good regardless of whatever. Because behind the scenes, a lot of things is happening that we aren't aware of. But, yeah, so as an entrepreneur, right now, me personally, it's like, this is like reality TV without the script. Without the script, the phoniness. Like, reality, y'all get to see me say certain things about myself. Like, I am God in the flesh. And I could say that without maybe a little bit of hesitancy within me saying that. But I could say that to y'all. I feel like it's a good, you know, a good crowd to say that to. Because I just feel like we're all God in the flesh. But we've been taught otherwise. This whole experience, this whole realm is God experiencing himself, herself, itself, you know what I'm saying, through the good and the bad. So we have to understand who we are and what energy we possess. And all the greats will tell you this. But then you have the people that are not great that come along and tell you what to think. But the great people always tell you who they believe they are. Muhammad Ali told you who he thought he was. Jesus told you. This whole story about Jesus in the debate about whether Jesus was real or not. In my eyes, Jesus was put. Look at the greats. Look at Muhammad Ali. Yeah, we think about Tupac. We think about the greats, whatever they did. Harriet Tubman, whatever culture. I'm just talking about my culture right now. But whatever culture you could familiarize yourself with. We're thinking about the greats. Jesus was that on steroids. Like, he was like great. At that same time, just like Muhammad Ali, just like Frederick Douglass or Marcus Garvey or Elijah Muhammad, they weren't more holier than us. They were someone who knew their potential and applied it. So we have this Jesus character. Jesus was popping back in the day. Had it popping. We look at Diddy. Diddy got $1 billion and he's black. And we like, oh, Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Jesus was popping back in his day. Somehow, some way, that story got distorted. What he was saying, because he told the people, what I do, you could do and more. You could do better than what I could do. Because of the lack of confidence in the people, they just took it as, he's the son of God. Only he could do that. Or this is blasphemous. This is a work the devil, work of Satan, or whatever. You could take it either way. That's why when somebody's successful, now it's the same thing. When somebody's successful, they'll say he's down with the Illuminati, which is the devil, or they'll say, all that's God, which it is, but it's also him. Why? Because God is in him. Drinking some red wine. Like I said, it was a full moon. So I was getting right on the red wine. This is good red wine. See if you can find it. It's called Chateau Le Pin. CHATEAU LES Pins PINS. Amazing sweet red wine. Amazing. I'm talking about amazing. Everybody I give it to is like, yo, this is the best red wine. One of the best red wines I ever tasted. Sweet red wines I ever tasted. So check that out. But moving on. Yeah, man. That's how it is. So Jesus had it popping, man. He had it popping. And it's like, we can do the same thing. He told us that. Whether you believe I'm not saying he was, we're all the son of God. We're all children of God. We're all gods, the universe's offspring. You know what I'm saying? We all emanate from that source. We still have a connection to that source. We still have that umbilical cord to that source. You know what I'm saying? It never got cut off. It seems like it got cut off because we can't see the physical. There's no physical umbilical cord, but there's a spiritual one. And that's our Wi-Fi connection. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you think your computer, you got a laptop and you could download that lab. Check this out. You have something on your computer that's not connected to nothing physically, but it goes from your computer to everybody else's computer. And the perfect example is this video right here. I put this video on my computer, right? My computer is not connected to anything at all. They tell me I have a Wi-Fi signal. So my computer, this video that I'm doing right now goes from my computer to everybody's computer wirelessly. The same thing happens spiritually. Wirelessly, God, the universe, contacts us because of that Wi-Fi signal, my brothers and sisters. It's the same thing. They're copying spiritual technology, which is it's not bad at all. I'm not saying throw out your computers. What I am saying is just understand what's going on, understand the process. We don't understand the process. That's why we hate money. Money is magnificent. Money is beautiful. Money is an exchange of energy. We don't understand the process. We don't understand. This is what we don't ultimately understand. We ultimately don't understand that we are the money. I'm money. Let me say this to y'all. I'm always going to be rich. Always going to be rich. That's my nature. That's who I am. Because of that, my beliefs, my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions get projected into this third dimension. What we call white supremacy is a challenge, is a test to us, that we have to overcome. We're great. We're great. We're always going to be great. We're the eternal present. We're great. We're always going to be great. And we are great now. And we was great. So leave that message to you. And like I said about being an entrepreneur, just, you know, I'm writing a book. Let me say that. I'm writing a book about my experience down in this dimension. It's going to be an awesome book. Awesome book. It's written from it's written from such a spiritual perspective, man. It's nothing. I'm not trying to impress somebody. It's just such a spiritual perspective book, man. Unique, something that, I mean, it's going to shock the world. So I appreciate the book. But one of the chapters in the book I'm talking about is being spiritually. Should I tell y'all? Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all. You're worth it. It's being spiritually selfish. What you think Know Thyself was about? Know Thyself, in a sense, was about being selfish. Not in a bad sense. Not in a sense that, intellectual sense that we're taught, but in a spiritual sense. And what I mean by that, let me say this to you. There was a meme going around. And I'm gonna end this soon. This is pretty long. This segment is longer than what I thought it would be. I'm really serious about this. I'm really, you know, this means something to me when I talk like this. So, but spiritually selfish. I read this meme. Diddy was sharing this meme. To protect your energy, it's okay to not answer a call, to be alone, to take a day off, to do nothing, to speak up, to let go, to change your mind. A lot of times, check this out, I'm ending there. A lot of times, we feel as though we have to answer the call because the person think we're acting funny. So and so is gonna think I'm acting funny, so I have to pick up a call. But in our spirit just wants to be peaceful at that moment. It just wants to chill. It just wants silence at that moment. But we're always trying to serve somebody else, so we answer the phone call. You know what I'm saying? So we go to the meeting. Sometimes you got to say to yourself, man, in order for me to be the best me, which is ultimately going to benefit everybody the best anyway, the illusion is that you have to help people. So you have to the best way to help people, the best way for me to help my woman, my future children. I think 7 generations ahead. I don't have children right now, but I'm thinking about them, and I'm planning for them right now, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So you have to think 7 generations ahead. And the best way to do that, help anybody, is to be the best version of yourselves. We sacrifice the best versions of ourselves to help people, which fails all the time. I'm going to sacrifice the best Rich to help this person. When I help this person, I'm not the best version of myself, so I'm miserable, and it don't turn out the right way. Listen, man, be the best you could be first. Be spiritually selfish. And this is coming from my book. I'm going to give it to y'all. And I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate so much what y'all doing. Y'all don't have, like, black people have a bad reputation for not helping. And black businesses have a bad reputation for not serving. So you have a bad reputation, I have a bad reputation. Based on our job descriptions. Your job description as a black consumer, my job description as a black entrepreneur or businessman. So I want to thank you for helping, and I want to help you, and I want to let you know how special you are. That's why I'm making this video. If in your heart is telling you, nah, that's not for you, it's all right to cancel that commitment. It's all right to cancel that meeting. It's all right to change your mind about something. It's all right to be alone. Sometimes my girl don't understand me wanting to be alone. And I just got to live with it. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. She walked in right when I said that. That's some secret. That's funny. Lower my voice. But you got to... you have to, you got to protect your energy. Energy is the most important thing in this world. So, on that note, I hope you guys, I know you got something from it. I know you learned from it. And, more and more things is going to be coming. Like I said, just a little, things with the podcast and things of that nature, just moving a little slower, but I know who I am, and I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I'm doing in terms of, my destiny and this black media and this music and everything. So I want to thank all of you. always, I'm definitely gonna, this is like this is everything to me. I have people that literally believe in me and support me and believe in what I do. I mean, this is like everything to me, so I definitely appreciate it. And I'm signing out, and stay tuned. I'm gonna continue to provide good quality content for y'all, and take this and, save it in your archives. You know what I'm saying? Put it away and, replay it over and over. Repetition is the best teacher. So continue to replay it, and it'll sink in eventually. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more Jews I could drop, but I'm just saying that for now. Saying this, whatever I said for now. But I'm talk to you guys soon. Stay up, stay positive, stay full of light. Be the greatest version of yourself. I'm signing out, family. Peace.